Hey there crafty friends, and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy to have you back. Today's video is so important, especially for my new beginner Cricketers. I really wanted to dedicate this one to somebody who just unboxed their Cricut, or maybe somebody who bought their Cricut and haven't unboxed it for a very long time. It's time to open up that box, take all the dust out. I need you to download the Cricut Design Space onto your laptop, your computer, your iPad, wherever you're using it from, and it's time to get to work. Now I'm gonna take you through Cricut Design Space. We're gonna make this together. I think it's so important to learn Cricut Design Space. You don't have to purchase the membership right away, but you could do a lot with the free program, truly. So definitely save that money for now. Maybe later on down the road or throughout the year, then you'll want to get the subscription. We'll see. Alrighty, crafty friends, so there's no cuts or edits here. I wanted to film this in real time. So we're gonna go ahead and open up our Cricut Design Space. This is exactly how like a blank canvas looks like. On your left hand side, you'll see you have a panel of operations. We're gonna go ahead and click on shapes. What we're doing now is that we're gonna try to open up and try to make our own like template, because we don't know how our design is gonna look like unless we see it kind of in person, the realistic sizing. So remember, I went ahead and I measured my pencil pouch, right? And I'm gonna go ahead and unlock this button to unlock the actual design, which is a square, and I'm gonna type in my exact measurements. It allows you to do that once you unlock that little lock sign. Once you're done, I want you to go ahead and click on the lock sign again, because that locks it into place. So just in case you're moving it around, it doesn't stretch up. Now this is a personal preference, but I do love to change it to a different color. I feel like it's easier on the eye and it kind of helps me when I'm designing. And then now we're going to click on the T for text, and this is where I'm going to start typing Anny Crickets. For this tutorial, I am going to do two different fonts. So this is going to help you guys a lot too. Okay, so this is my first group text. So it's Anny Crickets by itself. Of course, you could change that font. I have so many fonts here saved. I'm going to make a whole nother video on how to download fonts that you can't find on Cricut, but that's for a separate video. But for right now, I'm just choosing one of the ones I use all the time. So again, you could just double click it and kind of scroll through all the fonts. If you really like one, make sure to bookmark it, because it's going to save you a lot of time in the future when you want to use it again. So I'm going to start placing it kind of where I see that it looks nice. I don't want nothing too big or too small for my pencil pouch. Now it's time for me to put my second part of this text design. Now I want to show you guys something very important. Let's go ahead and zoom in really good. I want you to take a really close look. If I leave it just like this, just know that your Cricut machine is going to cut Anny Crickets literally letter by letter. I'm sure you see those little slits between the N and the Y, right? To fix this, all you have to do is weld it together. Exactly how I just showed you. Hit the combine button, weld it, and now your Cricut will do it on one shot, not separately. That saves you a lot of time and a lot of headaches. Alrighty, so now let's get into the second part of our design. I'm gonna go ahead and go back to my operations panel, click on T for text, and I'm gonna start putting in DIY. I obviously don't like the way that the font looks like with this part, the DIY, that's all capital. So I'm just choosing one of my most recent ones. Again, bookmark, so important, trust me. So I have it ready to go. And I tell you, I have so many bookmark fonts. These are the ones I'm constantly using over and over again. So I'm going to start placing it kind of where I see fits right. But I do want to let you guys know that in Cricut Design Space, you have a lot of help here, okay? I know sometimes eyeing it out, you think that you have it straight or it's even. Sometimes just let the actual design space help you out. So let's go ahead and disappear this big block for just 1 second. Just by clicking on it and hitting that eye makes it invisible. Let's select everything, go to the upper panel where it says align, and let's center everything. Now, if you notice that DIY moves just to type it down, and now it's perfectly centered. So this is exactly how my vinyl design is going to look like on my measured pencil pouch. So before doing anything else, when we're ready to cut, I want to show you guys a little tip and trick too. Even though it looks like it's done, if I hit make it right now, notice this, that the DIY is kind of free floating everywhere, right? Why is that? Make sure to select everything once you're done and you hit attach. This only goes for this type of project that we're doing one cut vinyl, like one color only, because now you have everything together and it's exactly how you had it perfectly aligned in Cricut Design Space. So now this is when the fun starts. So before we hit continue, let's make sure we have everything in order. So let's make sure our Cricut machine is on and running. I do have a Cricut Maker 3 that I'm using for this video and this tutorial. So I do have it on with the power light on. By the way, guys, there is a little secret compartment here. I usually put like pieces of transfer tapes, things like that. Always hang up all of my mats here. I'm sure you guys saw my craft room tour here on YouTube, but it's just really convenient. So for this video, we are using a standard grip mat, which is what we always use when it comes to permanent vinyl. You could kind of get away with a light grip mat too if it's brand new. Now, this is the star of the show. I love my Cricut slicer. I think it's amazing. A lot of you guys don't know, but behind it, there's an extender. So it's not too short, I promise. It's very long, especially if you're working with like the larger projects. And of course, another star of the show is the vinyl that we're using. This is a permanent vinyl from Tech Wrap. Yes, you do not need to use a Cricut brand all the time. Okay, and I love using these slap bracelets, by the way, to keep them organized. Because you guys know, if you've been following me on TikTok since the beginning, you guys know this is my preferred permanent vinyl in the world. I've tried them all, and their prices are really good. So I'll talk about it more in another video. Now, I want you guys to understand exactly where you have your design on the Cricut design space is where your vinyl has to go. So notice I moved mine down to between the 3 and the 5 inch mark. So that's exactly where I have my piece of vinyl on. For this type of vinyl, this is holographic vinyl sticker. I'm going to use the premium vinyl. It works extremely well for this type of thicker permanent vinyl. So it's a really good cut just in case you're going to pick up this vinyl as well. This comes in different shades, by the way. It's really beautiful. Now, your Cricut is going to tell you kind of what to do. So right now it's telling you to load. Make sure it's within the brackets, perfectly in there, not over it. And once you see those flashing lights, that means that your Cricut just wants it inside of the machine already. Now you're going to notice that your Cricut is measuring the length of your mat. Why does it do it? Because Cricut does have different mats, like the 24-inch ones, the really long ones. So it's just making sure that you have the right one in there. Now, once it's done measuring, the little play button is going to start pretty much blinking. So that means that the Cricut measured it, it's ready to go, and it's going to start doing what it's meant to do, which is cut. And of course, when it's done cutting, you'll definitely know because it will tell you unload mat and it'll just spit it right out. So this is exactly how it's going to look like once it's done cutting. Look at that beautiful print. If you notice the piece of vinyl that I used was a little bit too big for what I needed for. So just to save some vinyl, which is always good, you never know when you need a little piece, I like to get my rolling blade here and I like to just cut around it. To weeding, I like to weed from inside out. So you know those little gaps in between the A and the Y and the D, I like to weed those out first with my tweezers from Tech Wrap, which are the best, by the way, and they're so cheap. And then I like to weed out the rest with my hand if I'm using Tech Wrap. With other vinyl brands, you cannot use your hands, you'll rip up the vinyl. But with Tech Wrap, it's such like thick and good quality, you could definitely get away with doing this. So notice my motion, I'm kind of going like up and down, up and down. I'm giving the vinyl a chance to kind of separate from the cut. And once I'm done, those little pieces that were stuck on my finger, I just put it on the backing of that extra piece and I throw it away. Now, this is another important part that I'm going to teach you. I know you're very tempted just to rip it up from here. Don't do that. You're going to start curling your vinyls. I don't want you to do that because I want to start preparing you to get ready to layer vinyl with me. And I want to teach you that. So always get used to flipping over your mat and letting gravity do its thing. I don't want you curling up your pieces because in the future, when we're going to be layering vinyl and doing cool designs together, it's going to cause bubbles. Lifting it up that way will always cause little air bubbles behind your design. So now we're going to use a piece of transfer tape. It's the only way that we could grab this and put it onto something else, right? Now, if you have the Cricut standard, the gray one, I believe it is, you could use it. Go ahead. Do not use the purple one. That's the strong grip. You don't use that when it comes to regular vinyl, only glitter vinyl. If you need a more breakdown of what transfer tapes are there and what are worth it or not, I have a whole separate video. I will definitely make sure to tag it below. Now, before we put anything on anything, we always have to dehydrate whatever we're going to be putting our vinyl on. Permanent vinyl does not mix well with oils, and everything that we touch with our little fingers, it will also transmit oil. So make sure to always have like a pack of alcohol swabs in your craft room. You're going to use it more than you think. And before you do any cups or anything that's plastic or anything that's glass, you're always going to wipe it down with alcohol. Now, this is your last try and your last chance of avoiding bubbles, because bubbles in vinyls definitely happens, especially with the thinner type of vinyls, like that brand Scissor, and Cricut sometimes has some thin vinyls. So this is the time where you smooth down just to make sure you avoid any bubbles at all. You're going to remove the backing of this transfer tape, and slowly yet surely, I don't want you to ever to touch with your fingers the back of that vinyl, because if not, we're defeating the whole purpose. We want that part of the vinyl to be as tacky as possible because it is permanent vinyl. And remember that permanent vinyl does take 48 to 72 hours to cure and become truly permanent. So we don't want our finger marks behind it. We don't want any type of oils on it. So just try your hardest to not touch it. I'd rather you touch the transfer tape than touch the vinyl part. Now you're going to carefully lay down. Now you're going to carefully lay down your design. You're going to press it with your finger just to make sure it's in place. And with your squeegee with this felt tip, which if you've noticed, guys, I use this every step of the way. That's why I am very famous for never having bubbles. I go ahead and I squeegee the heck out of it. I know that I don't have any bubbles on here, yet I still do it. It's just a force of habit already. I am very, very anal. If I see something with bubbles, I'm just going to toss it because I just can't do it. But then when removing this transfer tape, always do my method. Start slow and peel it from the side. I don't want you peeling directly up at a 90-degree angle. I want you kind of peeling it off slowly and to the side, okay, at an angle. Very important, because if you do it up like a 90-degree angle, then it's just going to rip up your vinyl, especially when it's like a brand new piece. And by the way, when it comes to transfer tape, it is best when used 2 or 3 times. I swear. I actually hate brand new pieces of transfer tape. So make sure that you put it right back on its backing and put it away. I love to hide it in this compartment right here, and I use it for my next time, and it gets better and better. Plus, you're saving money, which is great. Here's an up close and personal of what we just did. So happy with it. It looks so beautiful. Of course, very important, I have links to almost every single thing I use in my craft room. I'll make sure to link it for you in the description below. Alrighty guys, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial as much as I enjoyed teaching it. I truly love teaching beginner friendly things. I think it's so important that we learn the basics and we learn the fundamentals of having a Cricut and what they could do. Mind you, this is your first project. Congratulations, you did an amazing job. And rewatch this video as many times as you need. I just want you to understand that in the craft world, mistakes will always happen. There have been plenty of times when I first started out that I did projects, I followed tutorials, I did what I could, and I still couldn't keep up, and I would waste vinyl. Really trying my hardest to break this down as easy as possible. Hopefully I did a good job today. Please let me know. I love the feedback because then I know what I can improve in or what I'm doing great in. It truly means the world to me. If I'm able to teach at least one person something new here, then that made my day. So that's the whole purpose of this channel. Now, I want to let you know from right now, get ready, because this year we're starting fresh. 2025 is right around the corner. We're going to be doing non-stop projects together. I'm going to teach you something new every single week. We're really putting this YouTube channel on drive now, so you will be expecting at least one YouTube video every single week. I honestly dreamed of having a schedule like this when it came to YouTube. Again, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching this whole YouTube video. It means the world to me. I really appreciate it. I guess this is the time where I always say, give this a thumbs up, a heart, a like, share it with your fellow crafter, leave a comment. Make sure you have your notification bells on, please. So important, because I want you guys to be the first ones to watch all the new videos that we have coming up. Actually, one of my favorite holidays is right around the corner, which is Valentine's Day. I love the day of love and I love doing crafts for it. So get ready.